Okay. Good afternoon. It's called to order the IDA regular board meeting. I'm Liz Staubach, chair of the IDA. Notice that we have a quorum with Tony Gaddy and Christopher Betts not in attendance. First item on the agenda is to accept the meeting minutes as presented and approved.
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you. Now we'll move to the report of the chief financial officer.
Sure. I do want to note that our vendor, BST, has had some staffing changes, so you'll see a new face next month. Tom Libertucci with BST will be joining us and presenting on these financials going forward. He unfortunately is sick today. But the report from BST is that we are on track with the budget for this year, ending with a projected ending balance of approximately $4.6 million.
Okay. Any questions? Okay. Thank you. We don't have any unfinished business, so we'll move into new business. And Harmony Mills South LLC, 90 State Street, a resolution authorizing modification to the basic document for the extension of deadline for sales tax exemption.
Thank you, Chair. So for the next three items on the agenda, I'm going to go into a little more of a recap and detail, especially for the benefit of the members who were not serving when these projects came through, some of them a number of years ago. And for each of the three following requests, they are administrative in nature and no additional financial assistance from the agency is being requested. So we'll just keep that in mind. Harmony Mills South. In September 2019, the agency closed on sales tax, mortgage recording tax, and real property tax exemptions through the project evaluation and assistance framework. At the time, the project proposed to convert the upper 11 floors of 90 State Street to approximately 160 residential market rate apartments. Due to material and labor shortages resulting from COVID-19, as well as unforeseen increases in construction costs, there have been significant delays in the construction over the last 2 years. As a result, the project beneficiary, who is here with us today, Ray Kaufman and Nadine Shadlock, are requesting a 2-year extension of the sales tax letter through December 31st of 2024. They believe that should give them enough time to fully complete the project.
No increase in the estimate of the sales tax.
Correct. It is the requested amount of sales tax abatement is remaining the same.
Okay. Any questions or discussion on this?
I can make the motion.
Okay, can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you guys. We really are. We don't take it for granted. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
If ever you want to visit, let's show you the old shooting gallery. Thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda is Clinton Avenue Apartments, resolution approving the third extension of approving resolution.
Thank you, Chair. In January of 2021, the agency approved a combination of a shelter rent pilot and a commercial pilot for the historic preservation of 4 vacant row homes, the redevelopment of a former school, and the new construction of a 3-story mixed-use building totaling approximately 60 affordable housing units and about 12,000 square feet of commercial space intended for community-focused use. The applicant spent the remainder of 2021 seeking approval for 9% low-income housing tax credits. That approval was granted by New York State Homes and Community Renewal at the end of 2021. The project applicant, however, had to seek an 8-month extension in January of 2022 to attempt to align agency closing with finance closing. As the common theme here that we're going to see is due to significant cost increases realized during the bidding process, the applicant again sought a 4-month extension back in August through the end of this year. However, there is good news here. Through an increase in equity contribution and increases from New York State Homes and Community Renewal and low-income housing tax credits, the applicant expects to close their financing gap and be able to close shortly after the new year, and therefore they are seeking a 2-month extension to the approving resolution through the end of February 2023. And we do have representatives from Home Leasing here with us today, Adam Driscoll, that can answer any questions.
Are there any questions from any members of the board?
No. Project that's going on.
Yeah.
Motion, yeah.
All right,
I'll second.
Lee, sorry, it looked like you were about to say something.
The 2 months, that seems like a very short window. Is that enough time? That's.
Hi,
Adam, do you want to weigh in on that?
I do, yes. So, first off, just want to thank you again for taking this request and reviewing this request. We have a scheduled closing date, end of January, but with all closings, well, as we can see with this one, it's been, we were very, very close until we had the construction budget issue. We've been able to remediate and fix all of that. We are now back on track moving forward, and just wanted to have a little bit of a buffer into February, but we should be closed in January.
Thank you. All right, we have anything else?
No?
For it?
Sounds good.
We had a motion from Darius. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you.
Number 3. Resolution for professional services agreement, 2023. Oh, sorry, my bad, I jumped there. Lost at Pine Hill resolution approving second extension of approving resolution. Sorry about that, sir.
Thank you, Chair. In March of 2021, the agency approved sales tax, mortgage according tax, and real property tax abatements through the project evaluation and assistance framework. The project, which is located at 237 Western Ave, originally proposed to construct an approximate 125,000 square foot, 5-story mixed-use residential commercial retail structure with about 97 apartment units and 6,000 square feet of commercial space on the ground floor. Due to site conditions, namely soil conditions, the developer needed to re-examine the scope of the project, and an amended project was submitted and approved through the planning department for the project, now consisting of 2 separate buildings totaling about 105,000 square feet, reducing the number of units from 97 to 83 residential units, and slightly shrinking the commercial square footage to about 5,500 square feet. 9-month extension was approved by the board in March of 2022 as the project continued to line up financing, and as a result of continued increases in both material costs and capital costs, the applicant is seeking an extension of 6 months through the end of June 2023 to continue seeking the needed financing to make this project happen. No new assistance is being requested at this time. And Pat Rafferty, the project applicant, is here with us today to answer any questions.
Any questions from the board? Yep. Can I get a motion? Yeah. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Now we'll go to the resolution. For professional services.
Sure. Following a positive recommendation from the Finance Committee, the following 3 professional service agreements, which are taken up annually by the IDA, are up for resolutions and votes. The first one is the professional service agreement with Capitalized Albany Corporation. The second one is a contract for services for economic development. And then the third one is a contract for services with the CRC. And as noted, that's really an agreement for the CRC to reimburse the IDA for up to $20,000 as services agreement.
Of note, if you'd like staff to step out for discussion of those first 2 in particular, because they are with Capital Development Corporation, we're happy to do so. If there are any questions, we can also answer those.
All of this was discussed last week at the Audit and Finance Committee meeting. Staff said it came with a positive recommendation, so are there any other questions? If not, I'll take a motion.
Motion.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Now we'll go to Arbor Hill Community Center.
I'll slip out for that.
Okay. I'm gonna have, John is gonna step out and.
I can start in open session, and then the suggestion would be to move into executive session and have members who have conflicts recuse themselves for that portion. And the reason for going into executive session would be to discuss a real estate matter involving a lease where the discussion of which could affect the values thereof. And so just by way of opening, we did discuss at finance last week proposed replacement of the existing Arbor Hill Community Center lease with the City of Albany School District. The Finance Committee did have a robust conversation on that topic. We had Commissioner Jones from the city's Recreation Department here as well to discuss the city's use of the facility. And we had a brief from both general and special counsel, also counsel acting on behalf of the City of Albany. You have in your packet a resolution. We can go through the proposed terms of that, as well as the management and operations agreement with the city. But again, I suggest that we hold that initial conversation in executive session.
Need a motion? Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we good?
We can, okay, audio is working.
So we'll report out that no action was taken during executive session. We do have brief remarks related to the discussion that was had during executive session. I'll turn it over to council for that.
Great, thank you, Sarah. So during executive session, we went through the certain attorney-client issues with respect to the negotiation of the document. But with respect to where we are from a transaction standpoint, the documents that are on the table, the lease and the management and use agreement, are in substantially final form and are being approved or being considered for approval by the approving resolution. The material terms in the lease agreement provide for a $40,000 annual payment with an escalation clause of 1.5%. There's no additional payments for utilities, maintenance charges, et cetera, with respect to the IDA's obligation under that lease. We have no obligations with respect to repair, which is another provision in the lease agreement. And then there are a number of provisions in the lease agreement regarding the use and access to the community center and the balance of the school facility, specifically the cafeteria, the pool, and the gymnasium. Those provisions have been finalized through negotiation between the city school district and the city, and those were reported on by staff of the city at the finance committee meeting of last week. Simultaneously, and as a condition to the IDA signing the lease agreement, we're entering into a management and use agreement with the city with respect to the city's occupancy and use of the community center space. Under that document, a number of the obligations that are, quote, tenant obligations under lease have been assigned over to the city. That document is in substantially final form also through our negotiations with the city. One provision that we still need to work through is the concept of the potential termination, early termination of the use of the community center by the city, and we'll continue to work through that issue with the city over the next couple of days. I have, during executive session, been given a clear direction from the board as to how to move forward with respect to that. So with that, I'll pass it back to staff for introduction and the chair for introduction of the resolution and any additional comments or questions from the board members before we take action.
Thank you. Turn it over.
Sure.
Tom?
So included in the packet is a resolution authorizing execution of documents in connection with a community center located at 50 North Lark Street in the city of Albany, Albany County, New York.
Had a extensive discussion at the Audit and Finance Committee as well as in the executive session. Are there any questions now for staff or council on the resolution? If there are none, I would take a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
You're good.
Okay, and one abstention.
I'm sorry, who seconded the resolution?
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. We'll move into other business and the agency update.
Agency update here is it is the end of the year, so we are wrapping up all of our year-end documents, and Andy and Emma are thick into compliance for the CAAA reporting for March already, and working through all of that. So that bleeds into the compliance update. But sorry for stepping on toes there. And then we are, per the Finance Committee's recommendation last week. We are going to be sponsoring the Economic Development Council's IDA meeting this first quarter in 2023. And so we'll have a complimentary registration there. We have had great attendance from board and staff at that event. It's all of the up-to-date best practices and new things coming at us from the legislature side that we'll learn about at that meeting as well. So we'll send around notice for registration once that comes out for anyone that would like to attend.
Okay, any questions? Agency update, and did she steal your complete compliance update?
No, not completely. We
Okay,
are
go for
also,
it.
just gonna add to it, we are also working with our auditors, and that process has begun, so, we expect to have that completed in March.
Okay,
So we did have one other, I was looking and didn't get nods, but I was mistaken, one other piece under agency update. We are a little long, but we do have an update on 488 Broadway that Emma can run us through quickly. It's good news, so we'll take it after the long discussion. So Emma, can you give us a little bit of an overview? We, again, try to monthly bring project updates on previously approved projects, as is a best practice recommended by the ABO, and also we like to hear good news. So Emma, take it away.
All good news. So 488 Broadway Arcade LLC was approved by the IDA in 2013. The conversion of 75,000 square feet mixed-use retail and commercial office building into mixed-use retail with 68 apartments. The project is a mix of studios and one bedrooms on the top end of the apartment line. Near full occupancy, tenants tend to be postgraduate, young professionals, and some empty nesters. They're pretty similar to kind of the demographics we tried to court downtown. Rents range from $1,300 to $2,200, and some really great news, occupancy has actually trended up in COVID, so interest in those apartments have gone up in the last couple of years. More people living downtown. Currently, there's 4 retail tenants on the first floor at full occupancy. 2 of the tenants have actually expanded into additional space in the first opening. It's going to be Stack's Espresso Bar on the left and the Albany Center Gallery. Top right, I think is the name. Over the last 7 years since the project came online, the building has really established itself as the center of the downtown community. It's residential and kind of place to be. In addition to the IDA support, Capitalize Albany has been involved in projects throughout a downtown retail grant with Stack's Espresso and 3 different Amplify Albany grants that activating these space. So pictured at the bottom was an event, Amplify Albany grant award through the Albany Center Gallery to celebrate 45 years and open some new shows and new space across the hall. Any questions? Great, we can keep moving on.
Perfect. So I am going to hand you out, speaking of Capitalize Albany activity, the annual report for, these are not them. These aren't the new ones. I will get you guys before you walk out the door. The 20, I know. This is old news. The new news is on its way.
The last couple.
Thank you to, we have 1, 2.
That's it.
We have 2. The board chair gets 1. Darius, I think you were there. We'll get you, we'll get you.
I don't need
when
anyone.
you walk out the door. They're up online as well. That'll walk you through the general economic development activity through the past year. We've been updating you on that throughout the year. But in addition to giving you a snapshot of the activity that Capitalize Albany took on throughout 2022, it's also a really great marketing piece. So share with friends and neighbors about how great it is to be here in Albany. There's a lot of really great news throughout the packet, as well as a rundown of about 20 project status.
Not lies and propaganda?
It is, we have been accused of being too positive, but everything in here is absolutely accurate. So I'll take too positive.
stocking stuffer for your out of town guests.
That's exactly right. Exactly right.
Okay, Emma, it was good to end on good news for our 3rd out of the 4th meeting, so, there's nothing else, right? No,
Nope.
We can adjourn.
okay, if I could get a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Oh, sorry. I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Right. Wait.